Hello, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. Welcome to a race of the round of 32 in the Final Fantasy Winter Chaos Winter Carnival. I am Thavian Hawk, offering commentary alongside my tracker and restreamer Maple for this race between Budgemano and LuffyDV. This is race 2 of the match. Let me double check who got the win on race 1. Looks like budgemano is on the lead of this, so this is game point for budgemano. The racers agreed to a 4-force this time around with no recruiting, so they are stuck with this double thief red-white mage combo. All things considered with the blursings, not horrible. We've got a resist death, I hate not knowing these, DIS plus 10 luck. Let me just paste this in. This is a bad mouse here. We got hit minus 1% per level on that thief. Not the best melee carry. As far as the red mage, we get improved cat claw and plus 800 GP. So 800 gold extra at the start, not a bad thing when you've got two casters, they need magic. And no temper though. So small downside there. Hopefully not needed, but it could have been nice to compensate for that extra hit loss on those thieves. Thank you very much, triple factorial. It's a death, ice, and status. As far as the white mage blursings, we have equips shirts, so white and black shirt without promotion. Health or a plus heal 2, so 2 charges of level 8 magic with heal 2 at the start, and then a malice of negative 15 hit points, making it a little extra squishy. Really appreciate your efforts, Maple. I'll definitely let you know if there's something going on. But as far as things go, we should be getting started here in about a minute. The racers got their usual lead-off time. I am solo calming, so if there's some unusual silence leading in, I apologize. I hope to keep up with the action from the get-go. Rich Bork, if you didn't see or hear, and here we go. The parties are Double Thief, Red, White, Forced, and as far as white magic goes, Cure 2, Heal 1, and Heal 3, not horrible white magic. Ooh, Warp, Temper, and Bane in level 1 red magic, or black magic, red magic as it is today. As far as armor goes and weapons, nothing too special. That chain armor and copper plus 4 actually, definitely worth having. Fits multiple characters there. And then, oh, there's that cat claw plus 5. That red mage with the improved cat claw may well be a better viable melee character than the ninjas or the thieves who have a minus 1 hit per level curse. First looks, oh, interesting, LuffyDV. We have horizontally flipped maps as well as a 50 marked premium chest incentive switched on. So Luffy noticed the flipped Toph and decided to reboot out and not get messed. Yep. Some mad ponies in that first marked chest, which coming down easy with that black shirt plus 5 that they got as a caster item. That can actually be used as armor by that white mage with the plus shirts incentive. Well, if they promote, which I assume they want to with this party, there's no reason not to promote, then that temper will be available to that ninja, I do believe, which could help. Yeah, some useless level 2 or minus 2 opal armor out of that top Toph chest, which that's some gold. Canal out of the king, and the princess has a key. So we have the key to the kingdom from the get-go. That saves us a good amount of searching. We can pick up a lot of locked chests early on, starting with the treasury. Let's see what this extra incentive item is. Right to the egg. That is our ruby. Looks like LuffyDV is running the fun flag for different food names for the Titan. And some pocket change, more or less all that's left in the treasury beyond that treasured Fabergé egg. And a cabin, or two. They're liquidating that opal armor. That is kit money across the board. Noticing those +4 coppers, which are better armor for the money than that -3 silver ring, no doubt. Over on budgemano's side, we've got some stock up on some reasonably affordable houses. 1,800, nothing to scoff at. Seen him roll 3,000 before. And budgemano also looking to sell that opal armor and stock up on gear for his party. Or budgemano just sold it and skipped buying. Thank you, RPG Limit Break fans. Welcome to this race between pardon me, that was earlier. Budgemano and LuffyDV. LuffyDV still fetching a whole lot of armor out of Canaria, while Budgemano is making his first run to Provoca. We already have the key and the ruby, along with the canal. So, ooh, fade. Level 1 white fade. That is a brilliant thing to see with that white mage and red mage. That makes both of those casters very valuable to have. That fog 2 could be a utility spell down the line, but I assume that the level 2 for that white mage, fast on black magic. I'm not seeing any bad magic for these two. Yeah, as LuffyDV is continuing to get his weapons and armor set up, budgemano is pulling Bicky for the first time, making excellent use of the black shirt because frozen pirates are dead pirates. And we get the floater. That is the skyship key, essentially, to the rest of the map. Which means that much less incentivized to check a early ice or marsh, given the fact that we now don't need the ship. We have the canal, so knowing with this flag set that the ship has to be somewhere available in the inner sea, those two locations especially are a low priority at the moment. I have to assume budgemano is going to make, yes he is, he's making the southern trip down to the riverway. He might stop at Crescent, but we shall see. As budgemano is leaving, LuffyD is making his way into Provoca. Gonna check the magic, be very happy with that fade and fast. Well, if you had watched budgemano's race earlier, you will know that they had Thief White Mage forced, no recruit. So their party composition very similar. And budgemano is skipping Crescent to go straight for that floater. Totally understandable. Get the floater, come right back up, get the Sage's item, and then probably pop over to Sarda and the Titan's check since he already has the Ruby. 2 more very fast incentive items to pick. And looks like the vendor item is not in Provoca, Canaria, or Crescent, so we still have a few more places to go as LuffyDV picks up his floater. Harm 3, Cure 4, and Invis 2 in level 6 white, whereas Rub and Quad X are the only things to note in level 6 black and are completely useless. Cheeky with the Quad X, but useless as no one will be able to cast it. And the ship. Okay, well that puts Ice and Marsh back on the table because we now have all the way out of the inner sea accounted for. Time to check with Sarda, see if he's holding the gank this time around. Nope, he's holding some precious slabs. Which, in this case, is a pretty good thing to find, because if you want something like the slab, you want it as soon as, or before you get to Melman, so you can stop there once and never have to come back. A house, some gold, and the crystal coming out of the Titans. That gives us 2 more checks. We got the crystal for the fast check, and then we could make the line to Lefane once we get this slab translated. I don't expect he'll jump down to Lefane super fast, though. He probably wants to get the tail. Oh, wow. Those are 13,000 gold, but those are +4, I believe, rings in that Melman shop as the slab gets translated on Budgemano's side. And the ship, the oh-so, dang it, why is it this, the ship for LuffyDV. And our black magic, we got Ice 3, Lit 3, not horrible black magic, all things considered. That Ice 3 is the most powerful of the elemental sweepers available to the runners. They do have Fade, which is as close to Nuke gets for the white mage, though. As Luffy gets out of Sarda and goes to Titans, budgemano is making that play to check the crystal, which LuffyDV was about to get. This will also be our first check at the closet in Matoya's. More money and more money. And then the ribbon +5. That +5 actually can make a big difference, but just the ribbon itself makes a great difference. And it looks like budgemano with the key and proximity is going to check the Toflocked chests, both of which are better trap treasures, which is a flag we've been running this entire tournament, where certain chests behind trap tiles have priority treasure in them. You might find something like the power bonk or the ruse stick behind them. Or a katana or 2. There are 2 katanas in the game, so the best weapon they could potentially get for those thieves. Looks like a pro cape out of that treasure chest. Those also, as noticed, those chests are, that chest was marked. Those are the 50 priority chests that they've decided to enable. They're marked. When they open them, they encounter enemies, and then they get what's in the box. LuffyDV grabbing his ribbon, finishing up that quest chain. I always think that having more quest chain items out of the way sooner is better. That is an Excalibur +4. That is just painful to see. That is all the gold. I mean, if he's going to go back and get those plus rolled gold rings for 13k, that Excalibur is a lot of money in the shop to sell. But that's basically all it is, because they do not have a fighter and they cannot recruit because recruiting is disabled. As budgemano is dealing with some spells in Elfland, LuffyDV has decided to make his dive into Marsh. Got a bit of rat divergence here. Budgemano did not check out Elfland before. I believe LuffyDV did. And we've got the horizontal flip on Marsh Bottom, all the fun. They do have the key, so it's likely LuffyDV is going to check the locked chest. That is level 4 nuke. What did we roll these people? And level 4 exit and life. So much value on the magic here. That red mage can't learn everything by any means, but it can learn that life. So you've got 2 life casters and exit. You've got the nuke casting capabilities. And there's the TNT. budgemano just noticing that's there, but it's 44,000. That is a expensive set of explosives. And the crown for LuffyDV coming out of Marsh. And it looks like, well, budgemano is going to make the proximity play. He knows that Marsh isn't the boat because they already have the boat, so it makes sense that he would come here. And yeah, LuffyDV is going down to the trap tiles for the better trap treasures here at the bottom of Marsh. Running into evidently stunning Wiz Mummies. it always feels bad having the black shirt to use against the mummies because they are resistant to ice, fire, and holy magic, including Fade. However, is extraordinarily effective against them, with that Fade wiping the entire pack, getting some substantial experience. If you can get a not so casty, not so toxic pack of those whiz mummies and mummies early, it is an excellent early grind for your team. See LuffyDV coming up against one of those better trap treasure tiles with a frost dragon guarding it. And that is a defense sword +4. That is excellent value. If you can get through this pack of Frost Wolves and Frost Giants, the Jotunheim pack as it's known. The one thing you might have noticed there, he went back into his inventory and he opened up, or he ditched one of the wood staffs. He has pulled a trick with this incentive flag, as we get the crown from Budgemano. If you have no room in your inventory for a piece of armor or a weapon, when you check these these trap treasure chests, you see what is in the trap treasure chest without picking it up, and by not opening and picking it up, or trying to, you do not trigger the fight. The defense sword, he was able to see and know it was worth risking trying to take the encounter, because this Jotunheim pack is a pretty powerful thing to deal with these low levels, especially when he runs out of Fade casts. It's using cheeky Bane tactics, and he doesn't even have a weapon on that second thief. This is risky as the white mage goes, and he's resetting out. He knows what's there. Budgemano now taking that Jotunheim pack himself. He's already down his second thief, his runner, it seems. It is a very cheeky trick to use, but it works very well, and it's really only relevant in this kind of flag set. And using that black shirt to get rid of those frost wolves that evidently were already cold enough, and once you chill them down too far, they just kind of die from hypothermia, I assume. As LuffyDV is hitting this mage tile back up to get his crown once more. And just like LuffyDV, Budgemano is facing the one remaining frost giant and has lost much of his capability to do damage. Second thief down. Not getting that Bane that he's hoping for. Honestly, I am shocked LuffyDV is not trying to run from that pack of mummies right now, just so he has the incentive. Oh, and Budgemano got out of there alive. That is shocking. Thankfully, he has the exit spell, so he's able to immediately bail out and not worry about encounters. And with that house, he can pull life and bring back up his Thief of Want. It looks like he is trying to run that 3-man party. Budgemano with the crown going straight up to deal with Astos, one-shotting him with some nice magic to get the adamant. So another chain of items going straight up to the dwarves. Only wishing that he had that 40,000 gold necessary to pick up the TNT that we saw in Elfland. Well, given how much value that defense sword rolling plus is, I have oh, bad eye on Budgemano's side. Noping out of the treasure chest in Northwest Castle as LuffyDV gets through those extra thick frost giants, pardon me, and gets that +4 defense sword. That is an endgame damage weapon with ruse casting capabilities. Most definitely something you'd want. And with his warp cast instead of exit, LuffyDV is out of there and heading to Astos to get his adamant. And most likely going to check those trap chests while he's at it. Having the key this early makes those early treasure chests very nice to have. While I was talking there, Budgemano took the... Oop, Bye-bye, Hooray Dwarf, freeing him from his one-word hell. And there is the loot. We have go mode for the priority items. That is the key and the loot. So we just need access to 2 more dungeons, and we will be ready to race to the end in Topher itself. That trap tile, better treasure trap tile that budgemano pulled with the incentive was a heal helm, it looks like, so he's ditching that. And with his money in hand, he is going to TNT, and he is probably just going right back to dwarves, drop the TNT off, and check the dwarven armory while he's down there. It looks like, since he filled up his armor, LuffyDV saw it was the heal helm and just decided to pass on that, and now he has his loot. And LuffyDV is going straight down. Nope. He packed out. He realized he did not have the TNT, decided to not run down there just yet. As budgemano turns the TNT and gets the Oxyale, which is one of the 2 dungeon incentive items he needs to get in and going. As LuffyDV looks like he's going to get some armor, get those gold rings that he saw in Melmond. Plus 4 gold rings. That is proper endgame armor. Low roll opals are less good, if not for their lightning resistance, I believe. But that was a mage stick plus 3 out of the dwarf treasury for budgemano. That is another caster item, and definitely a more valuable one in my opinion than the ice 2, just for if he deals with those zombie packs or anything of that nature that is weak to fire. And both racers pulling the same play. They know that if you drop down here onto Cardia Forest, this is a faster check to get, it looks like, the rod out of the Cardia treasure trove. With the flag for Bahamut's Horde, you can go down to visit Bahamut and get every single chest that is in Cardia, linked up in Bahamut's Horde. But it is far faster when you have the airship to fly and land on Cardia Forest and run in and get it, because you don't have to go all the way down and up the halls in Bahamut. And here we are with some divergence. We've got LuffyDV taking to the Ordeals play, while budgemano is going up towards Waterfall. Something there had some stone touch on it. I didn't see just what it was, but he hopefully has a soft, one soft, probably wants to pick some more of those up sooner than later, to get his thief back up before diving into Waterfall. Get your pillar guesses in chat, people. See what LuffyDV has to deal with. Maybe it's a 3rd pillar, maybe it's 4th pillar. It definitely was not 1st pillar. That took him all the way back to the beginning. And it looks like budgemano is enjoying that horizontally flipped waterfall. Thank goodness they did not go with the vertically flipped waterfall. That would have been a nightmare and a half. I honestly would prefer a proc gen waterfall than a horizontal and vertical flipped waterfall. Well, he knew he had warp, but you only have so many casts to use. A mess spike tile going there, and it is the tail. He is most likely going straight back to get that promotion from Bahamut with that tail out of Waterfall. Before that, however, he has 2 marked treasure chests with potentially great items in there to grab. And the Roo Stick is a great item. That is the Roo Stick and the defense sword for budgemano, and LuffyDV is most likely going to grab that if and when he goes to Waterfall. So they will have 2 Ruse cast items available to them, and a Flame Armor plus 2, which is excellent armor that ninja will be able to wear. And as budgemano seems to be rolling single ninja in his party, then that is perfect here for that one man. As LuffyDV is dealing with a Grooshark and Wizsag party, Wizsag party, budgemano is going in and stocking up on some equipment. Looks like just heal pots, maybe some cures and cabins. Doesn't have any stone or softs there that he most definitely wants to get. But he might just be saving out and doing an early sea play. Interesting. He already has the tail. I would have assumed he would have gone there and promoted before going to sea, because if he gets too many levels too early, it makes it harder to get the casts on that ninja once it thief once it promotes to a ninja. As budgemano seems to be going straight down towards Carrie's floor. LuffyDV still trying to deal with this Grooshark, which, as they often do, rolled just that little bit resistant. And still not having a weapon on that second thief is very much hampering him. I do have to wonder if at some point either of these racers will run back to, ooh, that is toxic, out of the seafood party pack. That's gonna be fun if that hits. budgemano thankfully skirting it. And then seeing the exact same pack all over again. As LuffyDV gets away from that Grooshark Wizsag pack as well. But as I was saying, I wonder if either of these parties will remember that Cat's Clawback and Cardia and think to put it on the Red Mage. That is the cube for LuffyDV coming out of out of Ordeals. So that is poison. Man, is this Wraith pack a real pain. I am unfortunately, well, actually I should say we are very fortunate, Luffy in this case, having that ribbon. If Luffy did not have that ribbon, he may well have just been bounced right out at the end. We got the ribbon coming out of the crystal leading to Matoya, which definitely a great early item to have, and proving its value right there. And Luffy with the cube out of Temple Ordeals going, well, I don't remember if he translated that slab, he would potentially go to Lefane from here, but it does not seem like he is. Does he not have the TNT yet? Oh, yes he did. He already turned that in, didn't he? Wait, no. Now I'm confused. Our tracking notes say no. I'm going to assume no for the moment. So many things have gone on. budgemano is on to Kraken's floor. I honestly am shocked he's going there this fast. He has not had much of a grind, but if he's got good enough weapons, and it looks like he's going to do full-on dodge strats. We've got the lead living thief with the roost stick on him, and we are just going to be going for whatever can possibly kill it. Nukes out of the red mage, and fades out of the white. If you get enough casts, you can get through. Kraken 1 can't roll up too big. And Kraken 1 rolled up pretty much not. That was a thin Kraken. With the first orb lit on either side, budgemano has dealt with C at 20 across the board for a 3-man party. LuffyDV picking up his second thief there as he was warping out of Elfland, and budgemano heading down to get that promotion. It looks like LuffyDV is now going up to deal with the TNT. So he must have already purchased it or was able to purchase it while he was in Elfland just then. That is C access, and he already has the rod, so he actually is in go mode at this point. With access to sea, the Earth Cave, and the volcano. We only need 3 orbs. Unlike in pods where it was 2, we need 3 orbs of any order to get into Topher. As it stands, Budgemano, having that first orb lit, still needs to find the cube and chime or the rod to get into go mode as well. But with that tail turn in and having an orb lit, he is in very good position to get get a lead and keep it going. LuffyDV, however, is taking Waterfall, is gonna get that tail sooner than later, and get that second ruse casting item, which will be extremely valuable. Well, Luffy goes for his tail in Waterfall. Budgemano is going with that promoted party down to Lafane to turn in that translated slab and get some magic, most likely, if he has the gold to do so, because we have the Lafanian Magic Superstore, almost all the magic in the game in one place. Yep, that is the chime. So if Budgemano goes to Ordeals, I believe he will be able to get the cube, and he will also be in go mode as far as temples unlocked. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of microwaved anything seafood, Classic Gamer, but it's cracking. We gotta get some extra energy in there. Hopefully it's not radioactively modified to be super strong in Topher. As LuffyDV, as we speak, is getting those excellent items, the tail and the ruse stick, out of Waterfall, Budgemano is finishing up the magical pickups with that excellent war chest. This has not been a poverty seed at all. You ask, is it even rando? When do you expect to see a ruse stick and a tail in Waterfall? I mean, the chime, that's one thing. Okay, that's the one non-rando so far. Anyway, as Budgemano is leaving Lafane, LuffyDV is heading south. The question will be, does he do what Budgemano did and go for C? Nope, it looks like he is just going straight to promote. And I do not blame him. He already has access to Earth. He could take that rather than taking the run at sea and hope that he finds the chime sooner than later, which, if he has the slab translated, he very well may be able to do. As Luffy gets promoted, Budgemano is in Volcano now, making his second dive into a dungeon, and of course taking a look at the chest-rich thing that is the Volcano 1 Armory, or Volcano 2, I should say, Armory. LuffyDV, oop, that's a heal stick, may or may not be worth anything, but LuffyDV is doing some armor shuffling, getting that fire armor thrown onto his primary ninja, and the silver shield coming out of Bahamut's Horde, then moving the gold ring down to his secondary ninja instead. I did not see, was that blue dragon a spike tile or a treasure chest encounter? Because if that was a spike tile, that would not have been a horrible grind option. It did not look like it was too thick. And there's the second ribbon coming out of that trapped treasure chest in Volcano Armory. That is excellent find. That's 2 ribbons for both of these runners, if LuffyDV ends up checking that chest. Speaking of LuffyDV, he hits up Lafane, he gets his chime, he has access to all 4 dungeons, and he is right next door to Sky, Sky, Sky. If you want that, get it in chat, people. Yes, it is. That is a well-known strategy among people who run this specific flag, to fill yourself up with all the junk so that you can get that early peek inside the chest without the encounter. It is a legitimate strategy, as they would say, of camping in first-person shooters. as LuffyDV is hitting up the Lefanian Magic Superstore to stock up on all the magic for all of this party. Budgemano has found a 3 set of trap treasure chests in the top left, normally, of the Agama floor. Looks like that Blue D is in fact a trap tile guarding these chests, so he could take a few hits or attacks on that, or with these levels go straight down to deal with the carry. I honestly doubt he will go for a big grind at this point. He probably wants to just keep going and walking grind this party. And sadly, Sky for the moment is off the table as LuffyDV decides to go straight up and follow Budgemano into Volcano, where he may well pick up that second ribbon if he checks out, which I have no doubt he will, the Armory. Well, that's a Sun +1 sword. That is actually an excellent weapon. The Sun Sword is powerful against the undead and many other things. I unfortunately do not remember exactly what it is. I just know it's a very good weapon and does well against, well, everything goes well against speed bump. Opal -1. I don't think the Opal is much better than the gold rings that LuffyDV picked out of Melman, but it does have lightning resistance, which may or may not be valuable. LuffyDV finding that Blue D trap tile, and he may take those grinds. His party is actually lower level than Budgemano's is. Budgemano, however, has been running that 3-man most of this race. He only has 7 levels on that down ninja. That has been down well before promotion. Budgemano checking that trap treasure chest on the carry floor, the red dragon chest. The ninja cannot use Excalibur. Excalibur is exclusive to the knight, the promoted warrior, or to a character with the legendary weapons blursing, which none of our characters have. The only weapons blursing that we have on the characters we do have is the improved Cat's Claw on the red mage / red wizard, which actually, with a Cat Claw rolling, I believe, +3 or 4, in Cardia Weapons Store is extremely good as a melee carry. An option, at least, but right now it looks like both players are using their red mages as casters, and only casters, and intend to keep that way. Oh, that's interesting. LuffyDV is taking the Blue D grind, it seems. He is shifting his armor around. If you come down to this first room in the Agama floor, the tile that Blue D is tied to can be taken by going up and down from that bottom row of the room, which has no encounter, so there's no risk of off-tile encounters when going for that grind. And as I bant about that, Budgemano picks up the second crystal of this race. He has he has fire and water dealt with. So as Luffy is going for his grind, trying to get his red mage and second ninja down, just like his white mage, I'd assume Budgemano is in go, trying to get to that third dungeon. Make me a stop off. I think, yep, he's gonna pick up that Cat's Claw. So he will have that second melee character in his party with a Cat's Claw +5 and the improved Cat's Claw. That crit rate on that Cat's Claw with that red mage is insane. I believe the improved Cat's Claw blursing gives the Cat's Claw the crit rate of a katana. It's either a katana or a Vorpal. It's incredible stats. I'd have to look up the exact stats of a +5, let alone having that extra improved Cat's Claw blursing. And Budgemano into Earth is checking out the Titan's Tunnel, or pardon me, the Hall of Giants, and has found a pack of metal slimes, which if you've got a 3-man party with casters is an excellent grind to go with. And in fact, he is taking it. He is going for that grind. He's got plenty of houses. He has exit. He's right next to the entryway. You know, that is a very good question. Let me check. Saber is spell 2 in level 3, so I believe that's learnable. I can never remember if it's 1 and 3 or 2 and 4, but in level 3 there are 2 spells that cannot be pulled by that Red Mage. Yeah, it looks like budgemano took a few fights on those Mel Slimes and bopped out of there. His levels are not that bad, and he's dealing with a Mark 1 speed bump here, so I doubt he is going to be worried. He knows where those tiles are. If he needs to get that grind, he can come right back. It's a much easier tile to get to for a much larger experience pool for his entire party. And as I speak, as he gets down, heading towards the vampire room, LuffyDV has finished danning off his entire party and is going for that solo bloody grind with that defense sword wielding ninja. budgemano checking the easy trap tile check with the trap tile treasure chest. I'm forgetting the exact name of the flag. I do apologize. The better trap treasure incentive, which is on for this event, that is normally a better trap chest either way, but with the flag for guarded treasure chests, that is just that more incentivized. Well, thank you, Saracen, with that information about the Cat's Claw having a 35% crit chance with the Blursings and the +5. That is excellent. I believe it was a Bane Sword +5? Looks like budgemano's checking to see if that's better than the Sun, and he seems to be. So he's switching over to that Bane Sword and about to pop open the lock with the rod. Head towards Armory, which he is most definitely going to check, see if there are any more incentivized trap chests, and there one is. Or better trap chest, I should say. LuffyDV is getting his grind on still. He is at 32 last seen. Probably going for an extra 6 or 7 hits. I wouldn't say 7. Oh, that is a katana -1. That is the best sword that he's going to be able to equip there, and I have no doubt he's interesting. He is sticking with the Bane Sword instead of the Cat's Claw on that Red Mage. So it looks like we've got a Bane Sword on the Red Mage and a Katana -1. That's Bane Sword +5 and a Katana -1 for budgemano currently. Well, LuffyDV with his grind still running that defense sword. As Luffy pulls up level 37, budgemano is ready to encounter some sort of stain across the street, the road. I don't know. There's this purple and yellow thing that usually quite flat. It was there and that's gone. Okay, budgemano, as LuffyDV is getting his solo grind on to get that ninja into stratospheric power status, has just brought his entire orb count to 3. He is going to do more or less the same thing that LuffyDV has done. Just later, he is going to drop his party and take a grind Most likely on the metal slimes. Yes, it looks like the metal slimes is what he's going for. Now, the metal slimes being in a pack are very good experience, but it's much more valuable for a team grind where you have casters. Relying on a solo melee to deal with a bunch of slimes can be a risk. I believe the Blue D grind for LuffyDV was definitely a better play, but we will see. That said, LuffyDV is behind 3 orbs at this point, so he is going to have to make that ground-up ninja work to catch up with Budgemano's lead as far as dungeon diving goes. And mission accomplished for Budgemano. He has gotten down to that ninja of his. Now, I did forget the ninja has nuke, so grinding those packs with a nuke, with the ability to get out of there, save with 10, that is actually a really good grind solution. He has houses. So taking into account having nuke on that ninja, this is a much more viable strat or play for a grind, and he's already up to level 30. As LuffyDV pulls carry himself. Just being careful, putting a saber on that ninja to get some extra damage to go with the swing power. Get 475 out of that first attack. And 6 hits for 648 to bring down carry. That is the first orb lit for LuffyDV. Question is now he has all of these options for dives open to him. Is he going to go Earth? Is he going to go Sky? Or is he going to go all the way back to On-Rack and go Water? Which I highly doubt, personally. LuffyDV is going back to get that Cat's Claw. He has all the gold, 200 plus 1,000 gold to spend. So he will have that Cat's Claw. He might shift it over once he gets there. I don't know if he'll put a Bane Sword in its place, but it depends on what the runners see. Both runners now going to purchase some supplies. Budgemano is ready to go, about to go for his Topher dive, whereas LuffyDV is getting stacked up and ready to go find 2 more dungeons to dive and deal with their fiends. This has been a relatively fast race, all things considered. The magic, the gold have not been unfriendly to these racers. And we have a first dive at 44.51 for Budgemano. It looks like LuffyDV is going towards, well, he's going C. I was wrong. Budgemano, on the other hand, is down through the loot plate and onto Topher. Properly stuck in the past at this point. You see Budgemano flipping his ninjas around, just get his party oriented the way he wants as he starts to dive down in the depths. With these parties, the way they are, I'd say LuffyDV has an advantage on the pure strength of his lead ninja and the fact that he's kept his party up longer throughout this run. But Budgemano could well do a first run through on Topher and get this clinched before LuffyDV managed to get all 3 of his orbs lit. That is a good question, Fractal. This tournament has a new flag introduced where they do not need all of the orbs. With the pods, there was a 2 orb requirement. Any orb they wanted only needed 2 of them, along with the key and the loot to get into Topher. And with the brackets, they've introduced a 3 orb limit, so each racer just needs to get into and out of 3 of the Topher Fiend dungeons to be able to get into Topher. And as I was talking, Lich was. Goodbye. And we get carry 2 on Budgemano's side. You can see just how flimsy that second thief is. He is down to 4 health in that second slot. over on budgemano's side. So far, so good as far as scripts from Kraken. No nukes or nuclear seen, and she is down. Budgemano is through the first two and on to the real Gate Guardians. That is Kraken 2 and Tia 2 if he gets past Kraken. The hitbats are something you probably want to try if you're just going to roll these seeds and play casual, because there have been many times where you have found very evasive or very thick or very nuke happy in those bats and have saved a few runners knowing what they need their party to be to get past those fiends. Luffy with Kraken 1 on his side as budgemano is on the seafloor in Taufer about to pull Kraken 2. And there is the sea shrine down. That is 2 orbs for Luffy. He has the option for Earth or Sky at this point. He's probably closer to Sky where he is now. If he just heads left, nope, he is... Yep, it is a Sky play. And Kraken just whacked the heck out of Run over on budgemano's place. That said, Run was his secondary thief. Thief is his primary damage dealer in that party, so for once Kraken going after a frontline melee character instead of sniping the white mage. And with a fade, budgemano has managed to get through Kraken 2. As LuffyDV hits that cube room to get into Sky, having fast-tracked his way right through the Mirage Tower. As budgemano makes it through some encounters, he is right into Tia 2. Will the Queen of the Dragons be kind? As so far, so good for budgemano to this point, but that is a pretty potent little Fire 3 shot. Fairly thematic there. Luffy making quick check up to CC's Gambit, that 4-pack on Sky 4, or Sky 3 I should say. As budgemano sees Bane out of Tia, taking Run off the field yet again. But with his level, or with his life, or with the HP on his party, he could survive a cheeky nuke if it came out. And no cheeky nuke came out. Tia is down. Budgemano is getting ready to hit up Chaos as LuffyDV is making his way towards Tia 1. Barring a wipe here, it is likely that budgemano will be able to lock it up here and now. One pulls Chaos, the other pulls Tia. Let's see what is going on. We've got Fast, we've got Tempers, we've got Ruse. Or Fast, we got Invisible Ruse, I should say. Oh, Wall. It was one of those, Fast, Wall, and Ruse Stick. It's kind of hard to commentate on both sides. I'm going to focus on the Chaos fight if you guys do not mind. Now getting that Saber cast in on that Thief. He already has Fast. And he already has plenty of Ruse stacks. These thieves, these ninjas already have a boost to their evasion as part of this flag set. So they are dodgy from the get-go. Having those Ruse stacks makes it almost punch-proof. Barring crits, of course. And Run, obviously no additional Ruse stacks, took that punch and, well, is laying down for it. First swing out of Thief. Oh, crack across the board, dodging everyone. That was over 7 hits and 600 plus damage, I believe, out of Thief's first swing into combat. Oh, that is a good question, Fractal. That is another flag in the randomizer as LuffyDV deals with Tia 2 and is finally in go mode with all 3 orbs he needs. There is a better harm flag that makes harm magic effective against all characters, not just the undead, when cast by a white wizard. And budgemano gets the win with a racetime.gg time of 52 minutes 12 seconds. What a race, and it's still going. We still have to see if or how LuffyDV does getting into Topher. About to make his first dive. His grind is done, and he is ready to go. Let me check if budgemano wants to join us into the room. See about getting budgemano in here. There we go. Welcome to the race room, budgemano. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. That was a good one. I felt like that seemed to kind of lead me by the nose through the seed with all where the key items hit early, and then it was just a matter of trying to find something I could swing at the fiends at the end. Eventually pulled the Katana Mice one that didn't do a ton of damage, but got the job done.
Well, it was better than nothing. Never really saw the Vorpole. You saw the X-Cow, which was kind of pointless.
Yeah, it always is there early and always rolls up if you can't have a fighter. So.
Yep, and at that moment we have a forfeit coming in. Oh, my apologies. Seeing notes on one side or the other. So, never really had an issue with money, it didn't seem. This was not a poverty seed. Good magic, good money.
Yeah, so early I saw that Cat Claw in Corneria, and I knew the Red Mage had the Cat Claw Ace, so that was in my back pocket as a, if something goes really wrong. He's got that, and it was +5. But it was like 50k, and then the TNT was really expensive. But all that good night gear was just, vendor money throughout the seeds. So, yeah, not too bad there. And then, yeah, the magic for the ninja, you can get, I never cast fast with him because the Red Mage had so many, but having Saber is huge. It kind of takes the pressure off finding that power bonk.
Yeah, seeing the Temper on level 1, Saber on level 3, that made having those 2 thieves when you roll them in the ninja definitely valued. I did notice you danned off that second thief pretty fast. He was down at level 7.
Yeah, that was the plan from the start. Having 2 thieves, it's not going to buy you much, and I'd rather focus on getting the levels up on the others. I had considered at some point, if I found a good grind early, you can get the party up, maybe bringing that thief back up to get it to 15, and that's why I bought spells on it. But when we went into Topher, it was, he was there to take a punch. He had a Sun +1. He could maybe, contribute 10, 20 damage or something, but he was there to die, basically.
The ablative meat shield. And it worked. He definitely took a pretty solid punch more than once.
Yeah, he did.
He even spared your white mage from Carrie's punching for some reason.
Yeah.
Carrie out of character.
Yeah, if you saw after Kraken hit that ninja for about 1,000 damage, I did an extra ruse cast on the main thief because it was scary.
Yeah, Kraken. My apologies. I said Carrie, I believe. Either way, what a run. You picking up those the grind on those metal slimes, I was kind of surprised, and I realized, oh wait, you have nuke on that thief as well, which makes that a much more viable grind.
Yeah, I was getting 10 to, I think if it was a 6-pack, it was like 20,000 experience or something ridiculous, and they went down to 1 nuke. So I saw those, took them as a party grind going in early, and then after leaving, I was hoping the characters would actually die going down to Earth. That was the plan. That didn't happen. So then I had 4 nuke casts. It's 4 fights. I wanted to get the 5th hit on the katana, so it kind of worked out perfectly to do it there.
Yeah, you having to deal with that malice of the -1 hit per level did not help that.
No, I think without that, I probably could have gone to 6 hits on the katana around a similar level. I don't know exactly how that all tracks out, but 3 versus 4 per level. That adds up pretty fast. Oof, Luffy's having some trouble here at Kraken.
Most definitely. Having both the defense sword and the roost stick makes for a pretty evasive party altogether, so... Oh, that would be why the forfeit occurred. I apologize, spoiled that, people, but joining us in the race room is LuffyDV. GG, Luffy. Hard fought.
GG's Budge. Those two fun races.
Yeah, GG's Luffy. Good races.
Yeah, man.
So what did you think of the early game with the good magic and reasonable amount of gold?
I mean, it was good. Like, I was listening to Budge. The seed kind of led you in a direction, which it kind of did for the most part. Took a bad reset in Marsh Cave, trying to dig out that defense sword. Couldn't get any luck on my fade rolls against the Frost Giants. Cost me probably like 5 minutes early in the game.
Was that what was in that box?
Yeah, it was the defense sword.
I got to a point. I ran out of all my fades, and he was still up, and I just I ran.
Yeah, one giant survived, I think, 3 fade casts, and I tried to hit him with like a couple banes, and it never happened, so I had to reset out of it.
That was one thing that was noticed by the viewers, the fact that you pulled the trick of flooding your inventory of weapons and armor just to see what's in those special trap chests.
That was a strategy that we used a couple years ago for when trap chests started in their infancy. When they weren't marked and you didn't know what was in them, it kind of helped to see what was in it if you wanted to actually, take the fight if it ended up being one. It costs you a little bit of time early on, but I think throughout the seed it can save a minute or two from the minute or two you burn early on. But the right there with the defense sword trying to dig that out, and then it ended up being an Aegis shield. I had an empty slot in my inventory in Ordeals, and ended up sitting on the stupid Gershark Wizzahags for like another 2 minutes trying to just like punch him down because they survived all the fades and all the banes, and it ended up being an Aegis which I couldn't even use, which felt real bad, which was probably like a good 5 or 8 minutes between those two fights, or felt like anyway. So, but Budge ran a great race. All the credit in the world to him. Good luck moving on. I think you got Dead Pulse next, so have fun with that one.
We're about to crash into brick walls, but it's all right.
Yeah, but Budge is a really good guy. We raced in Bingo last year in the semis, and we had a good race then, and we're part of a group that's coming up with some fun stuff for you guys coming up around the corner. So he ran a really great race. It's good to see him advance. He's a good guy, so it's okay to lose to him. I'm all right with that.
Thanks, buddy.
It was an excellent race out, both of you, and there was divergence. Both of you did make different plays. LuffyDV, you did actually hit up Ordeals, which budgemano did not, so you had access to Sky.
Yeah, I wanted to avoid, one random dungeon, whether it be Ice Cave or, Ordeals or Marsh, and it turned out to be Ice Cave I avoided this time. But Ordeals is a play, like I always hear Dead Pulse, go early Ordeals. So that just kind of ingrained on me into the thing that I try to do now. But yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This time it was okay.
Yeah, when you get that warp on that on the ninja, you'd be able to avoid some of the trials and tribulations of that teleport right back to the start pillar.
Agreed.
Any other thoughts on the seed from either of you?
You can go first, Budge, if you got something.
I was just to say, I talked about it a little bit. I think all in all, the party ended up being pretty useful there. Thief White Mage is pretty good, 2-man, and having the Red Mage just gives you so many more options. So, even with the hit percent Malice and the No Temper on the Red Mage, it kind of worked out to be a pretty good party there. So.
I agree. The magic was pretty choice. Seeing Temper at level 1 was hilarious with the Red Mage not being able to use it. But I knew that when we promoted, we get it on the Ninja and it was fine. Saber, I think, was level 3 and Nuke level 4. I didn't go to Elfland until like 26 minutes in. I'd done all these things and realized I never went to Elfland. So I was like, I better go there and see what's there. And, luckily, that's when I saw the Adamant, which, I had to sell something for because I still didn't have the money for it at the time, which was really weird. But overall, the seed was a lot of fun. These were 2 great races. It's been a lot of fun in this tournament. Looking forward to what's coming up down the line. I see Saracen in chat. We got some good stuff coming up for you, Ducklings, coming up in the Duck Derby, Duck Boot Camp in a couple months, and and we have a fun little thing planned a couple months from now for a weekend or two. That'll be pretty good. So you guys are in treat for some good Final Fantasy, and thank you to Thavian for doing the comms, Maple for doing everything else. It looks like, and budgemano for a great race. It was a lot of fun. Good luck in the round of 16, bud.
Yeah, thanks. And just special shout out to Thavian and Maple. Pretty new ducklings here. Hope you do the derby, but jumping into restream and broadcast and everything. That's awesome to see you guys both jumping in both feet. So good stuff.
Yeah, please do the derby. It'll be a lot of fun. I promise.
Thank you both for your consideration. Definitely want to thank Maple doing the tracking and the restreaming today. Definitely going to be in the Duckling Derby, doing the weekly seeds, enjoying that. So I just joined the community about a month ago now, if that, and have been enjoying it ever since.
Yeah, it's a really great place to hang out. You're very welcome here, and good to have you. Thank you.
If anyone out there hasn't heard of the Duckling Derby or the Duckling program, feel free to jump onto the Discord and join up. It's a group where we learn how to play the game with streamer or racers like LuffyDV, budgemano, Saracen, all joining together, teaching the racers how to properly route, how to deal with certain curveballs that the randomizers can throw at you, and just having fun throughout it. And at the end of the boot camp, there will actually be a race series for the Duckling Derby, where the ducklings will get a chance to actually perform and put themselves under pressure.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, you guys will love it. It's a good time. I came up a couple years ago. Budge was part of the class, I think, last year. So a lot of us have. That's where we started. So it's pretty cool to be a part of it, to give back and teach some people how to play. I've had a lot of really great people help me out. So definitely join. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time.
Yeah, and the community is very welcoming to new people coming in, asking questions. Just people just jump all over you to answer. So it's great. It's a great community.
Yep.
Join the Discord and
please do.
get into it.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. In that case, we will go ahead and just sign off for the night. We're going to pass off a raid to Speed Gaming once to check out Duskplume and Rube's race going on. There's plenty of racing going on tonight, and tomorrow we've got races set up all over the place. Quick look around. We've got 3 races tomorrow. I don't have any stream information on them, however. So keep an eye on. If you are on the Discord, you can set up the spectator flag, which will get you a ping in Discord whenever one of the races is getting ready to start, so you can know when the stream is going up and where to watch it. But with that, y'all have a very good evening.